You brush your teeth twice a day. You floss. You use mouthwash with fluoride. You see your dentist every 6 months. You buy whitening strips, electric brushes, prescription rinses, and your teeth still look like this. Your ancestor never did any of those things. He never owned a toothbrush. He never met a dentist. His teeth were perfect. He lived 350,000 years ago in a cave in modern-day Spain. Same DNA as you, same biology, different mouth. 91% of adults today have at least one cavity. He had 0. Either evolution made you weaker, or modern dentistry is solving the wrong problem. The real answer hides in the dirt of a Turkish village, and nothing you do tonight can fix it. Start with what your ancestor ate, because his food was his toothbrush, and it worked better than yours. In 2019, dental anthropologist Peter Ungar at the University of Arkansas flew to Tanzania. He examined the teeth of the Hadza, one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes left on Earth. The Hadza don't own toothbrushes. They don't own toothpaste. They don't visit dentists. Their teeth showed less plaque than yours. Not the same amount. Here's why. Their food is a weapon. Tough, fibrous roots, stringy raw meat, bone fragments, wild honey mixed with grit. Every bite scrubs their teeth like a wire brush. And look at what they actually ate every single day. Wild tubers ripped from the ground with the dirt still on them, mongongo nuts cracked open with their own teeth, tough, sinewy meat torn straight off the bone, fibrous roots, hard seeds, raw, bitter greens. Every single meal was a workout. There was no soft option. Their teeth ground through grit and fiber and bone for hours, and that constant pressure is exactly what kept the jaw wide and every tooth locked in place. Modern food does the opposite. Soft, sticky. Refined sugar clings to enamel for hours. Bread liquefies into paste. Yogurt coats every surface with sugar. You don't eat food anymore. You drink it through your teeth. And the Hadza aren't unique. In the 1930s, an American dentist named Weston Price traveled the world for 10 years looking for an answer. He studied isolated tribes in the Swiss Alps, the Scottish Hebrides, the Pacific Islands, the Australian outback, cavity rates under 1%. The same tribes who'd adopted Western flour and sugar had cavity rates 20 times higher. Same villages, same DNA, one generation apart. But here's the part nobody tells you. The scrubbing wasn't even the most important part, because the same chewing that cleaned their teeth also rebuilt their entire jaw. And that's where the story turns dark. Look at your own jaw in the mirror. It's smaller than your great-great-grandfather's, smaller than any human jaw that existed before farming, and the reason is brutal. In 1982, anthropologist Robert Corricini at Southern Illinois University ran an experiment that should be famous and isn't. He took 43 squirrel monkeys with identical genetics. He split them into 2 groups. One ate hard, natural food. The other ate soft, processed food. Same DNA, same environment, same age. The soft food monkeys developed crowded teeth, twisted front teeth, narrow jaws, misaligned bites. Same species, same genes, different food. The study was published in Science magazine. Nobody acted on it. And here's where it gets darker. In a single cave in northern Spain called Cima de los Huesos, archaeologist Juan Luis Arzuaga has pulled more than 500 teeth out of the dirt. Each one belonged to a human ancestor who lived at least 350,000 years ago. Their jaws were larger than yours. Their teeth lined up perfectly. No impacted wisdom teeth. No braces needed. Because their mouth was built by what they chewed. Yours was built by what you didn't. Your jaw stopped growing around age 12. Your wisdom teeth tried to come in. There wasn't room. So your dentist pulled them. Your ancestor's mouth had room for all 32 teeth. Yours doesn't have room for 28. For 340,000 years, every human who ever lived had perfect teeth. Then, 10,000 years ago, something happened. Something that broke the human mouth permanently. And it wasn't sugar. It wasn't candy. It wasn't the toothbrush industry. It was farming. When humans started growing wheat, barley, and rice in the Fertile Crescent, the food got softer. The grains got ground into flour. The flour got mixed with water. The mush got cooked. And the mouth that had been engineered for hundreds of thousands of years to crush raw, fibrous food suddenly had nothing to crush. The jaw started shrinking within a few generations. The clearest evidence sits in modern-day Turkey at a Neolithic site called Çatalhöyük. It's one of the oldest farming villages on Earth. Bioarchaeologists compared the skulls buried there to the hunter-gatherer skulls that came before. The farming skulls already showed smaller faces, crowded teeth, and the first dense numbers of cavities in human history. Same humans, same DNA, different food. Here's what nobody tells you. Pre-agricultural skulls show cavity rates close to 0. Early agricultural skulls show cavities multiplying with every century. The transition wasn't slow. It was a collapse. And then it got worse. By the time refined sugar arrived in Europe in the 1500s, the human mouth was already a disaster waiting to happen. In medieval Europe, sugar was a luxury reserved for royalty. Queen Elizabeth I brushed her teeth with sugar paste, thinking it would clean them. By her 50s, they had turned black and rotten. Her courtiers blackened their own teeth with soot to copy the look. Black teeth meant you could afford to destroy them. By the 1700s, sugar prices crashed and the working class got access. Cavities became universal. Sugar didn't cause the problem. Sugar just finished the demolition that bread started. Your modern mouth isn't a normal human mouth. It's an agricultural mouth. Malformed by 400 generations of food, it was never designed to chew. In 1780, a man named William Addis was sitting in a London prison cell when he had an idea. He picked up a bone from the floor. He drilled tiny holes into it. He convinced a guard to bring him bristles from a pig. He tied them together with wire and brushed his teeth. That was the first modern toothbrush. When Addis got out of prison, he started selling them. He died in 1808, one of the richest men in London. Today, the global oral care industry is worth more than $50 billion a year. Think about that. We invented an entire industry to solve a problem we created when we invented farming. We brush, we floss, we drill, we crown, we whiten, we straighten. Americans spend around $5,000 on braces, $20,000 on a full set of veneers, $60,000 or more on full-mouth dental implants. Your ancestor paid $0. And here's the punchline. Modern dentistry doesn't fix the problem, it manages the damage. Your teeth are crooked because your jaw is too small. Your jaw is too small because of soft food. Braces just straighten the damage. You get cavities because food sticks. Food sticks because it's processed. Brushing just cleans the damage. Your teeth fall out because your bite stopped working. Your bite stopped working because of agriculture. Implants just replace the damage. But here's the worst part. The industry has no incentive to fix this because the broken mouth is the product. But here's what the dental industry will never put on a billboard. Your jaw isn't done growing, ever. In 2019, scientists at Tokyo Medical and Dental University proved it. They forced test subjects to chew harder. And the bone didn't just get stronger, it physically changed shape in fully grown adults. The force of chewing wakes up cells buried inside the bone. Those cells pump out a growth signal called IGF-1, and that signal gives the jaw one order: rebuild. And this is the part that should make you furious. The fix was never expensive, it was never complicated, it was never a $50 billion industry. The fix was harder food. That's the whole secret. A jaw that chews like your ancestors starts to rebuild like your ancestors. Your bones never forgot how to do it. They have just been waiting 350,000 years for you to give them a reason. Your ancestor lived 350,000 years ago. He never owned a toothbrush. He never met a dentist. He died with all 32 of his teeth still in his mouth. You will spend more on dental care in your lifetime than he spent on everything combined. The food in your fridge is the food that broke your mouth. The toothbrush in your bathroom is the apology. The dentist you'll see this year is the bill. You're not buying dental care. You're paying rent on a mouth your body was never built for. But your body never forgot the blueprint. 350,000 years of perfect teeth are still written in your bones, waiting for the day you finally give them something worth chewing.